Welcome to What the Group Chat Say. I am Siobhan. I am the corporate one, married for 15 years. I will kick it over to Kia.
Hey y'all, hey, this is Kia, the twice divorced, now single, trying to figure out this dating life, 20-year business owner, and I'm gonna kick it right on over to Drea.
Hey, hola, this is Drea. Welcome. I'm the single one of the group. I'm the one who's the situational ship person. I'm sorry, guys. I smoked a joint. It must have kicked in. Okay, let me start over.
No starting over. We're just going to keep it going. We're bringing our group chat to the public.
Right.
For better or worse.
Right. Hate us or love us.
Hate us
Here
or
we
love
are.
us. Here we are.
No relationship information for me is current. That's a disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
Everything is past tense. And if it's
All
not, that's
names-
none of your business.
All names have been changed to
All
protect.
names have been omitted.
There's no
omitted.
innocent. They will be guilty.
Right. Right.
Yes.
You know what I was thinking? So we're filming this or recording this at our state college.
Yeah.
As I'm driving here, I thought every single one of us has gone here.
Yeah.
Only one of us has graduated.
With our masters,
Yeah.
nonetheless.
Masters, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Nonetheless. And it just got me thinking about how we've come together and then how our paths kind of just have gone.
Branch. Yeah.
branched off.
Like,
then
And I
back
didn't even
together.
know about this college until I met y'all. Because
I remember.
I did it. I just remember y'all being in a cafeteria
Yeah.
at breakfast, or was it? Yeah, I think it was breakfast. And I was like, "What y'all doing?" Like, we're applying for state colleges. I was like, I don't have money for that.
See,
And what
I
state
re-
colleges? And you're like, it's free. I said, what? In California, it ain't free. I would have had to apply for each one separately.
Yeah.
And so then I just applied, and I was like, oh, okay, guys. Yeah, they approved me already. I'm accepted. It was like November.
Yeah, we were doing it early.
We
were
did
doing
them
it
early.
We wanted early acceptance, so we
Yeah.
knew this one because this was really our backup.
Right. It was. But we did Upward
But
Bound.
we did Upward Bound.
So,
Kia,
I didn't know
Kia
that.
and I went every weekend. We were basically at ASU taking courses beforehand. By the time we started, we already had English 101.
yes, we did.
We already had our math 115. I think
Yep.
it was. So we already had credits going in.
Yeah.
Hindsight being 2020, I would have enjoyed myself being a high school student and not have started being a college. I mean, I was like, yes.
Our weekend schedule was so rigid.
So rich, up early in the morning because we lived far. Both of us lived east.
Yes.
We weren't even in our school zone, so coming all the way to Tempe. But I just felt like it was so funny as I was driving here thinking about, first of all, how much this college has changed.
How much it costs?
How much it
How
cost.
much it cost? Right, because basically when we were going, it was free. Like
Felt like, right?
it was like
It was
financial
like
aid
$2,500 a semester.
Yeah, and financial aid covered it. Like I remember just thinking, like, oh, this is easy. I can only imagine what they're paying now.
Oh, it's like $25K, I think, a semester, or maybe like a school year. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I
Because
was
I
just-
know that was what I was paying when I got my master's.
Wow. And I was just thinking of going here, what we thought. So Kia and I have known each other 7th grade, I think is when we met
Yeah,
officially, right?
officially.
And then Drea joined us from Cali in high school.
I think it was the end of the semester in 11th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I actually graduated. My diploma actually doesn't say 2000. What we graduated 97.
Yeah, I'm about to say
I-
2000.
my-
What was it?
My
97?
diploma and transcripts. I actually finished school in December of '96.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't.
remember that.
Yeah.
Early.
So
You had
coming
that whole
from
half.
because coming from Cali, all my classes, I was in a magnet program most of my life. So I did performing arts. And then when I went to high school, I was in a college and Senate program. So, and our diploma out there was already more like most of the stuff that you guys were taking in senior year, I took in like 10th and 11th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got to finish early. So that was the only one positive thing about coming here in the midst of the end of the school
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Yeah, I have to say that I really liked, when I first met you, it was, you could tell that you weren't from Arizona,
Yeah.
right? Like, I was like, where is she from?
Yeah.
Really outgoing, really just, I don't know, one of these people who you walk into a room and like, you're there.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that I've been in that room for a while and you hadn't even realized I've been there. Unless you hear me laugh.
Right. Right.
But if I don't say anything, but that's not Drea. Drea is never going to come into a room and not
And you
own
not-
it.
right.
And it's just like automatic. It doesn't look like somebody who's trying too hard to do that. So that was always that. But
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, because I don't think I ever have, like, when you were younger, what did you think you were going to be when you grew up, quote unquote?
So when I was younger, I used to want to be a lawyer. And that was actually what I was like really really into. And I think it was eighth grade or ninth grade, I took a pleasure reading class, and the goal was to see how many books you could read in a semester.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh, this will help me. My dream job was always to be a backup dancer for videos and like rappers and stuff. Since I was a
gonna be a
dancer,
video chick.
right? And then I was so I was like, and I also wanted to do have my own talk show. Like that's always been my like secret, like hidden. But yeah, I wanted to be a lawyer. And then when I started getting older and they were like, oh, you got to do this much school. And I was like, oh, hell to the no. Hell to the no. I don't want to be in school that long, And then from there, it was probably 11th or 12th grade. I was like, I want to help people. So I thought that was going to be like psychology. And then I took a psychology class. I feel like it was when I met you guys. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Now, this ain't what I want to do. Like, I need to know this. So then I forgot. I don't know if I went to a college. I don't know. I went somewhere and I found out about social work. And I was like, oh, okay. This looks more like academically like what I would want to do later. But originally, yeah, I was a lawyer. I took a lot of criminal justice classes at ASU. I even took a lot of women's study classes, believe it or not. But social work just kind of stuck with me.
Kia and I both wanted to be in the medical.
Yep.
We are
Okay.
both so not even doing that. However, I
Literally at
I had no idea you guys wanted to do
I wanted
medical.
Kia
to
wanted to be an OBGYN.
Yep, I wanted to be an OB-GYN.
Okay, I remember you saying you wanted to
Yep.
be a doctor.
I
I
wanted
did.
to be a heart surgeon,
Oh, okay.
either brain or heart.
Right.
Right. We took so many science
So
classes,
science.
so many biology classes. I remember being at Westwood taking anatomy. Like,
Oh, I took that class.
Loved it.
loved it though.
Loved it
And
though.
I like
Didn't
cutting
I?
up
But
the
here's
frogs.
what happened to me when I get here to ASU, and you meet with the guidance counselor, right? And they're doing and I was like, man, I like technology. I love medical stuff. I don't know how to bridge the two. Like I didn't know, I don't think you knew back then that.
right, that all this would converge.
Right.
But
the
they
world
didn't
is
have
your
the
oyster.
programs back then.
Right.
We because now you could probably do both. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right. And she goes, what about nursing? And my brain just went,
Shut down.
because I had never wanted to, no disrespect to nurses, but I never wanted to be a nurse. And in fact, my parents worked at different parts of the hospital, in the lab, and then my dad in the ICU. And they were like, don't ever be a nurse. These doctors run them ragged and they know just as much and get paid less than half as much, right? And they were like, don't do that. If you're going to do that, go all the way to be a doctor, right? So that's why when they said nursing, I was like, don't sell me short. I don't want to be a nurse.
I want to be.
And then that spiraled me into not knowing what I wanted to do. And I'm a person who, if you give me all the options, I want all the options. Like I want a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And when school is not free,
Right.
it's not the game. And so I was like, I'm just going to work because that's what I want to do. I want to work. And so then that's how I dropped out of college like a weirdo. But at least you work with kids though, kid.
I did. So my OB-GYN story stopped at I had a baby.
Yeah.
I got pregnant. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll go back to school after I raised my then one child. Had two more after that. But I was like, okay, I
And
can
got
do
married.
this.
Don't forget
And
that.
got married. I did do that. And I was like, okay, well, I'll finish. So, but all the while, I stopped ASU because it was like, okay, cool. And I started going to MCC though. And so, no, yeah. So after our summers here, I was like, well, I'll start at MCC because, like you said, the money was like a thing, and like my mom and them was like, we ain't got no money for college, so
Right.
how you gonna figure it out and this and that? So I was like, well, cheaper route, MCC. Started there. Then that's got pregnant, but all while being pregnant, I took all the science courses like because I'm gonna be a doctor. This is what I'm gonna do. And then motherhood, and then being a wife hit, and I was just like, right. So I don't want to do this no more. I'm gonna stop, and I'll finish later. And
How did you transition though into being a business owner? Like, what made you say, like, well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna?
so that was Raekwon. That's my oldest, y'all. Um, he started doing sports and stuff in school and like starting kindergarten, and it started and I was just like, so I don't want nobody with my babies, so I need to stay home. So I turned to my then husband and was like, nah, so ain't nobody finna watch our kids. I'm staying home. And my auntie in Chicago, she was doing childcare. And I was like, dang, auntie, that's right. I can do that. I've been doing that my whole life. I was watching my brothers, my cousins. So then it switched to take childcare classes.
How many years you been doing it now? Like you've owned your business.
I've owned my business for 20 years now.
Good job.
So that's, yeah.
That's a long time.
Very.
That's how long I've
That's
known my
dating our
husband.
age.
Right.
We're dating ourselves. You already dated yourself talking about 98.
That's true.
We talking about 97 when
You
we
know how these-
graduated.
right. You know how these kids talk about now? They like
The
1900s.
hundreds.
It's like a whole, like the first half of the year has changed. Like, remember, like paperwork. That's also dating ourselves. There's no paper. But remember, the 19 was solid, and they just
Yes.
have a line
A
because it was
line.
obvious it was going to start with 19. They can't even do that anymore.
Yeah.
Not that it's all digital, but I mean, anytime we're doing something, picking the age, it's like I'm on The Price is Right.
Right.
Over there. I got to spin them.
Oh, that
Yes.
makes me mad. Like, why can't I just type it in?
Right. Like, why you want to embarrass me on the computer? We sound like the old hags.
We're really okay, boomer. Okay,
Right.
boomer.
So, ladies, let's tell the people how we actually all clicked. Though. Like, how
Well,
did we?
Kia's the connector.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kia is always. If I think about anybody that I've known, most people that I've known in my life in the school ages came because they were Kia's friend, or I was hanging out with Kia, and then now there's this group. So
Right.
that's really how. And I remember even saying something to one person, like I was in class, and I was like, "If you don't know Kia, I don't know. You get your life together because everybody knows her. You know Kia, then you know everybody you'll need.
all the players.
All the players. That's
Everybody.
Yes.
And which is funny because I don't even know how I got there. Well, I was always bouncing and bubbly and smiley, I guess. So I guess maybe that drew everybody. And I was always going to tell it to all the city chicks.
Yeah. And that's how I think you, yeah, because I think I met you like outside. So I just remember like a area where everybody hung.
On the wall.
And I was very, I just remember starting that. It was like the hugest culture shock I've ever experienced in my life.
we were so segregated.
And I was told that this was like the most diverse school. And then I walked in and I was like, I've never seen so many white people,
Yeah.
white kids
Yeah.
in my life. And so then I'm like, okay, looking for people that looked similar to me and then all of a sudden someone tells me, don't go to that side because that's where the white supremacy. And I was like,
Yeah.
wait, what the fuck?
yeah.
Yep.
So that also, so then I just remember walking and I was like, okay, there's some browns over there. There's some blacks over there. And then I think our lockers were by each other. I think that's what did it, is like I was looking for my locker or something. And I think I always wore my headphones because I always wore my Walkman. Yes, Walkmans back then. It was a cassette player
will continue
one.
dating
It was
ourselves.
right. It was a cassette player one, and then we just happened to talk, and then she just like introduced herself, and then I think it was like the next day. You're like, oh, come over here at lunch or something like that,
Yep.
and then that's how it kind of, for me, that's how it kind of started.
Yeah. I would say being and Kia can probably attest, we both kind of came into Mesa
Ugh.
in elementary
White-ass
school.
world.
Right. And like really elementary school, super white.
Yeah.
But so I started in 4th grade. It was me and my brother, as far as I know, the only black people.
Mm-hmm.
And so then when we get into middle school, I was like, oh my gosh, because all the elementary schools around the area, now they converge.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh, there's other people who look like, so same as what you're saying. And so we kind of all were like, yes, there's more than one of us. So it was me, Kia back then. So
Right,
we were
all the
just
people.
all of these people. And so all the black people just kind of came together because we were all separated in all these different elementary schools. And it was probably 1 or 2 of us there.
Yep.
It was weird.
Well, in those days too, and like I said, our high school was really like diverse, but everyone hung with
Segregated.
their own.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and we would bounce around, Kia and I, like, you know, I had friends in every kind of section, but everybody really knew what their section was. Like, you knew the black people were hanging over this part of the wall, or when it was raining, that side of the hall.
Yep. But it's
You know,
crazy.
the athletes were
It
all
was
on
all
the other
there.
side of the wall.
It
You
was
had
like
the
that in
preppy
LA
kids.
too.
It was right, and
Very
so
segregated,
you really
but we
kind of
didn't
knew
have
your
whites
place.
at the school I went to.
Well, yeah, and then you had like the druggies.
Yeah, that was always
That were
over
always
there.
like when like you
By
know
the
like, talk
tree.
about dating ourselves. We had a smoking section
Right, at school.
at school. First of all,
That's
it used to
crazy,
be
right?
on campus. It used to
Really?
be on campus. Almost,
did.
almost in the back
Oh,
before you
wow.
got to like, you know, when they had the little.
I never knew
those little
that.
portable. So, but in between there was like a little grassy section, and that used to be the smoker section. Then they moved it across the street.
They did.
But so you were allowed to basically leave school, go across the street if you were smoking, because that became the smoking section. They had to allow a
Wow.
smoking section. And so, yeah, that's how old we are. Because now it'd be like, now not only let no smoking section at school, you can't. There's most bars don't even let you smoke in there anymore. We still talk every day.
Yeah.
We do.
And you know what's interesting is that in high school I was actually closer to Cassandra
She was.
because she would ditch school with me when I met her.
Because y'all was so fast.
She would be down with the shits. She would be down, but still calmer than me. Like I was off the chain. But then as time went on, like her and Kia became best friends, and then I kind of dipped out for a minute because between schoolwork and my son. But then as time went on, we all have now connected and talk every day. But years ago, it wasn't. We didn't talk
we didn't
every
talk at
day.
all.
Somehow
We
we
didn't
just.
talk at
I
all.
think it was around COVID, and we started doing like the get-togethers and stuff like that.
Some reason during the pandemic, and I love the pandemic because I love being alone.
You great. And I hated it because we both
know
like
it.
being outside.
Yeah,
Me and
me
Drea
too.
always wanted to be outside.
But then I'd be ready to be away from
Right,
people after a while. But yes, we
But
love
I was
the
alone.
yeah.
And then
I
all
had
those
it.
years, and I was like, I'm
It
feeling
definitely
that.
depressed me.
Yeah, and I was like, I've had all this time, and I was like, you know what? You know who I miss? I miss my old school friends.
Yeah.
And then I just sent a request, and I was like, let's do something. I
That
don't
tea
do.
party was.
And I was like, let's just
banging.
dress up,
Yeah.
and let's just do so. Let's go somewhere.
And that was when I started because I was a couple years ago, and I've still been doing it. It's funny because some of my friends have been told to do this in their counseling, but maybe because I'm training that, I had to do it for myself. But I was so good for paying for some shit and not going.
Yep.
Or being like, well, I spent that money already. I don't want to go now, But when you invited me to that, I was like, I don't know about that. But I had started the thing of if someone invites me to something and I have the time or I can afford it, I can't say no. So when you invited me, I was excited, but at the same time, I was like, I'm not bougie like that. When I started looking stuff up, I was like, I don't know about this. But when I went, I was like, oh my gosh, it opened up a whole nother it opened up a whole nother like horizon for me. So I appreciate you for that, because I was like, this is something I would have never thought to spend the money on. Now I'm like, oh, let's go to that polo thing. Let's go ahead and go to the golf thing, and you know what I'm saying? Like all of those type of things. And I was like, it just, traveling was always my thing, but those type of activities mentally, I don't know why I wasn't at that, but that opened up a lot.
Yeah, I had never done, and I don't like to dress up at all. So if I can be in a t-shirt and some sweatpants, I'm in. And so I was like, you know what? You've been wearing that
2 years now.
2 years now. Let's do something. I was like, and so I was like, dress up. And I know Kia's always good for the hat and the dress. So
Baby, listen,
say
I was
less.
about to say
She was like,
that
say
was
less.
only, I'm on it.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just do something out of my comfort zone and let's see. And then we did. We started, for the most part, like every month you can't, but we were trying to, like every month, let's just get outside together and do something. And so it's been great because I step way back, but I love the fact that since our history was so rooted in like our childhood, really, it's so easy to be like, okay, here's the years where you missed, because a lot of the time as adults, especially as older adults, the day to day is like the same,
mundane and
right? Like, so it's really easy to catch all the way up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're not really experiencing all that different new stuff. But well, I've been married for 15, dating the same person for 20 years, and we're both. It's so funny because we are both type of people like, and anytime you're not feeling this, let me know. No harm, no foul.
Hey,
damn.
listen,
At
but
20
the grouse out there,
Baby,
let me just tell you.
don't. Both y'all better stay there, because I'm telling you what's out here. Like, baby, nah. It like they say, the swimming pool got pee, boo-boo. The chlorine ain't working.
And you hope to find the clear water.
Right. Because, nah.
I mean,
here,
I will say this, though, like when we do get into relationships, I would probably say that my situationship lasted longer than a lot of people's relationships.
Yeah.
It did outlast your marriage.
It did.
I'm not trying to be criticized.
No.
But
how long
she's
have
like,
we known each other? I ain't doing till I'm married again.
I've watched someone be right there by you for 2-3 years. I've lost count. And it's a great topic.
When we get there, that's gonna be amazing.
Yes, and hopefully somewhere down the line, we'll be able to answer questions if our audience has any, if we get an audience.
Right. Or even if they want some type of support, or they got a situation, they want some opinions on it.
So hopefully you guys have fun coming on this journey with us. We're going to keep each episode short. We don't have time to have you sit here for 3 hours to us yap, because we're all 3 busy women.
We definitely
part.
are.
So this is what we do. We decided to stop gatekeeping our group chat. The chat we said to delete upon our death, let's take to the grave. For some reason, we're putting this out here. Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe it's not. We'll find out. Just going to talk about our life, relationships, the stuff that we talk about every single day. See you on the next chat. We're going to put Kia on this hot seat.